It is 4 p.m. We're redeveloping news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching this Friday, March 28th. The 45-day campaign period for local candidates officially starts today. Candidates are given until May 11 to campaign, except on April 17. No, I think it's May 10. But anyway, except on the 17th and 18th for Holy Week. COMELEC warns that candidates with illegal posters and those who will engage in vote buying may face disqualification.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reaffirmed America's ironclad commitment to its mutual defense treaty with the Philippines. Hegseth said this when he met with President Bongbong Marcos in Manila today in Malacanang. And he stressed the need for strong deterrence against China's actions in the region. He is the first high-ranking official of the Trump second administration to visit the country. Pro-Duterte groups are holding a motorcade for former President Digong, who turned 80 today while in detention at The Hague in the Netherlands. The motorcade will end in a mini-event at the Liwasang Bonifacio in Manila. In Davao, supporters will be marking Duterte's birthday through a global Filipino solidarity program. Greetings are also pouring in, including from, of course, his daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, who said she wished her father love, good health, and happiness. Digong's other daughter, Kitty, in her birthday message, described him as a, quote, force to be reckoned with.
A powerful earthquake rocked central Myanmar this afternoon, damaging buildings in the capital, Naypyidaw, and forcing people to flee. The 7.7 magnitude quake hit northwest of the city of Sagaing at a shallow depth, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. A 6.4 magnitude aftershock hit the same area a few minutes later. The quake also reportedly damaged buildings in Bangkok, Thailand, and forced the suspension of rail services in the city. Tremors were also said to be felt in as far away as Yunnan, a southwest province in China. And joining us today from the Philippine Star, Editor-in-Chief Ami Pamintuan. Magandang hapon, Ami.
Hi, happy weekend.
Ami.
Oh, sorry, Ami, wala yung fashion icon natin ngayong
Wala yung fashion critic,
Ay,
but you
fashion
look
critic
very
pala.
nice.
Oh.
You look very formal.
Baka nag-happy birthday si Ronald.
I mean, joke si Ed dyan.
Sasabihin ko lang sana happy weekend.
Hindi, happy weekend daw, just to be clear. But it's a Friday. A lot of big news today, huh? Of course,
Yes.
There's no getting around it. It is the 80th birthday of former President Rodrigo Duterte. We know there are rallies and gatherings being organized by both the pro-Duterte groups and the anti-Duterte groups. In The Hague and also all across the Philippines.
And of course, overshadowing that, unfortunately, is the start of the campaign period for local candidates beginning 28th of March until, May 10.
Correct.
May 11.
May 10.
Oh, May 10, May 10.
The day before election day is supposed to be all quiet.
Quiet day, yes. So hanggang May 10 lang yung... Although, of course, honestly speaking, they have been campaigning for months.
It's not called campaigning.
Let's be
The
honest.
Supreme Court says it's not called campaigning.
It's not called campaigning. But, because honestly, matagal na natin nakikita yung mga ads, yung mga
Yes.
banners, right? So,
Magkano na kaya nag-gastos
Hinihintay ko
ngayon?
nga yan. Hindi, ang mangyayari ngayon, mababawasan yung well, we're hoping na mababawasan yung mga poster, no?
Actually,
Kasi sobra-sobra talaga eh.
The irony is
Ngayong
that...
araw, may control na ang COMELEC.
yes.
The irony is
Pwede
that
na
pag
sila
start ng campaign
magtanggal.
period, saka dapat mababawasan yung campaigning.
Yes. Oo.
The
Hindi, local pinayagan, di ba?
Oo nga, no, it's a bit of an irony because today is the official start. Today lang mababawasan.
Kasi
Because
ngayon lang magbibilang ang COMELEC at
Oo.
ngayon lang magsusuka talaga yan ng ito bawal to kasi masyadong malaki.
yeah, and for those who don't understand, it's because there's a gap in the law that defines premature campaigning.
The
So
no
synchronization law redefined
Premature campaigning.
the definition of a candidate as one who You're only a candidate once the campaign period starts. That's basically what it says. It's a
Oo,
definition
hindi dun sa filing ng certificate of candidacy, kundi
Correct.
ba naman talaga hirap na hirap tayo mag-define ng mga
Ang dami
mga
talagang
salita.
kailangan
Parang
amyenda
fortuit
sa
yan
batas eh.
Ang dami kailangan
Parang
ayusin.
fortuit,
Party list law, premature campaigning, campaign financing, but no, more important things to do.
Like
Oo
impeachment.
nga eh.
Well, may isawa na yun, sige.
Actually, there's a lot of important legislation that needs to be
And
passed.
political party reform. Yung tawag doon, yung party jumping,
Yes.
bimbalimbingan.
Balimbingan.
There have been
Wala
efforts.
sa mga natin. Hindi ba may mga suggestion nga we go back to the two-party system para hindi ganyan kagulo.
Oo.
At saka within the party, they will pick only the cream hindi ba? The cream of the crop. Hindi pwede yung kung sino-sino mga illiterate ang pipiliin nila na mas magaling
Ami,
dun sa
even
magagaling
during
sa party.
even during the time of the two-party system, remember the Liberal Party was created by people who were not chosen in the tawag doon, yung when you start choosing your candidates for the election, the primaries.
The primaries,
LP was created when in the primaries of was it the Federalistas or the Nacionalistas, they were not chosen, so they created their own party, which is the Liberal Party.
Ayun na nga.
So
Kaya nga, kailangan merong batas na na mandating. Hindi pwede yung ganyan-ganyan na pag hindi kayo maligaya, gagawa kayo ng bagong partido.
party jumping.
And very
Diba?
closely related to that is the political dynasty law, which obviously
Yes.
is very, very, very hard to push through because, a lot of yung reasoning that we've heard from a lot of the candidates is that, well,
Binoto kami ng taong bayan
kaya
eh.
nga, exactly.
Pinili kami.
I mean, it's a democracy, so kung bubotohin ng
Democracy.
taong bayan, what can we do,
Yeah.
right? Which is, of course,
Tingnan natin kung mag-action ng Supreme Court because there are, I think, at least two petitions sa Supreme Court
Yeah.
asking them to compel the Congress to carry out their constitutional mandate to pass an enabling law.
But that's
So
not,
we're waiting
it's not
for
looking
that
very
action.
hopeful. The Supreme Court, I don't think the Supreme Court will go that far as to.
Hindi, malay mo, bakit yung sa pork barrel binawal niya? Although nung binawal niya yung pork
Pwede
barrel,
mong
they found
pagbawalan.
a way to go around it,
I can imagine the pork barrel being declared unconstitutional. Kasi it's putting a stop to something versus ordering a co-equal body to do something. So that
Pero but that's a constitutional, hindi, yun ang
that's true.
interpretation nila. It's a constitutional question Mandato ba yun ng constitution? Na mag-pass kayo ng enabling law. Di ba? Yun yung question doon So, tingnan natin, depende yun sa wording ng Supreme Court. Saka kung susunod nga yung Kongreso natin.
this is
ito pa yun.
reminding me of the debate over forthwith.
Oh yeah, fourth
Oh,
wave.
yan na nga, yan na nga.
So many ways to define it.
Kailangan resolved
I mean, taken on the face of it, parang medyo straightforward naman, no? Forthwith, ano ibig sabihin?
No, because fourth wave can mean fourth month.
Ganun ba? I didn't know.
Fourth month.
Oh, so that's if you count
Di ba
from
5
March,
months?
March, April, May, June.
June.
Oh. Hindi mo na magbilang to business. Hindi mo magbilang. Fourth month. Oh.
Moot and
Ganun
endemic
yung argument.
Endemic daw.
Oo.
Kapag nagkaroon ng desisyon yan, moot and academic na yan.
Hindi moot and endemic, no?
Moot and endemic.
Moot and endemic.
Moot and academic na yan. Kapag na-desisyonan yan. But anyway, magkakaroon ng at least, magkakaroon ng legal interpretation yung forthwith in the Constitution.
Yes, so that's
The Constitution.
and also one thing, one thing that should come out of this impeachment trial is they need to define these things. Now, I mean, again, on the face of it, parang hindi naman kailangan ng definition because forthwith in the dictionary says immediately without delay, right? Pero it really depends. I mean, lawyers could argue
Yeah, they
both
can say
sides of it.
immediately without delay during the session.
Oo. Not when you're in recess.
Not while in recess. Kaya naka-recess nga kami. Madali mo yung
Yan na
homework mo pag in class, not in recess.
Yan ang sinasabi ni Chis Escudero, di ba?
Oo,
Bakit hindi inaksyonan ng House forthwith? Di ba? They were also mandated to forward it to the Committee on Justice. Forthwith. Bakit daw hindi umaksyon ng ganon?
Well, I
yan
still like
naman
my
naman.
interpretation, fourth month.
Buti na lang hindi ka lawmaker, no?
Pwede no?
Pwede.
You can be creative eh.
Oh.
You can be very creative in the way you reimagine laws.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, we have a reporter. We have a Mojo. Let's bring her in. Ano?
Marymon Reyes.
Marymon Reyes. Marymon Reyes, I think she's in Manila. Tama ba? Marymon? Marymon, are you there?
Yes, good afternoon.
Oh, kamusta yung unang araw ng
Hi,
kampanya?
Marymon.
Magandang hapon. Tulad ng init ng panahon na nararamdaman natin ngayon, we're expecting na hindi lang today, kundi sa next weeks to come, na-expect natin yung mainit-init na labanan dito sa lungsod ng Manila, lalong-lalo na para sa major contenders. And past 8 a.m. kanina, officially na sinimulan na yung motorcade, yung campaign na motorcade ng Panig or yung Your Best Choice na ticket ni dating Mayor Manila Isko Moreno. And nung mabilisan natin siyang nakapanayam, ang nasabi niya, kung siya raw ay mahahalal, ay tututukan niya raw yung mga pangunahing pangangailangan ng mga Manilenyos and nangangako siyang lilinisin niya raw ang Maynila. So far sa monitoring natin, around naglilibot siya ngayon sa District 3 of Manila, so that's San Nicolas, Binondo, Quiapo, and Santa Cruz. Later on, around 6 p.m., kung matatapos nila yung paglibot nila ngayong araw, gagawin nila yung kanilang proclamation rally doon sa Moriones Street, Tondo. Same goes naman sa side naman ni incumbent Manila Mayor Hani Lacuna Pangan na tumatakbo vying for re-election with incumbent Manila Vice Mayor Yusel Bornieto. Kanina muna dumalo muna sila ng misa, and then around 9 a.m. sinimulan na rin nila yung kanilang paglilibot sa Sampaloc. 6 p.m. naman later, gagawin din nila yung kanilang proclamation rally or program sa Earnshaw Street, Sampaloc, Manila. Doon natin na formal na makikita yung mga i-endorso nila na mga kandidatong bahagi ng slate nila as well as yung platforms nila. For Sam Versosa naman, na independent mayoral candidate, ngayon naglilibot din siya sa Tondo. Naglilibot siya ngayon around Sampaloc and gagawin niya yung kanyang proclamation rally around this afternoon sa Claro M. Recto, Tondo, Manila. And yung isa sa inaabangan natin kung magkakaroon pa ba ng kasama sa ticket itong si Sam Versosa, kung magkakaroon ba siya ng revelation, kung meron siyang may i-endorse na vice mayoral candidate, kongresista or konsihal. Kasi so far, personal na platform niya pa rin yung kanyang inilulunsad, and that is improving livelihood, education, and healthcare. Balik sa inyo.
So ano pagkakaiba ng
Marymon, meron daw merong survey ang Okta on the mayoral race in Manila. Meron ka na ba detalye
Yes.
nun? Di
Yes,
namin makuha yung detalye.
Yes, Miss Ami, nangunguna actually si dating Mayor Isko dito, followed by Sam Versosa, and then si incumbent Manila Mayor Hani Lacuna. Pero ang nakikita natin ngayon sa campaign ng side ng Asenso Manileño, which is yung kay Mayor Hani, the last man standing is a woman daw. At base sa mga nakausap din natin kaninang supporters nila, tutulungan daw nila na ma-reinforce itong pangangampanya ni Mayor Hani. And idadagdag ko lang din pala, bukod dito sa tatlong major contenders, meron pang 8 tumatakbo for alcalde dito sa Maynila. Kasama na dito ang aktor na si Raymond Bagatsing, si Mara Lorraine Cator Tamundong ng Kilusang Bagong Lipunan, Michael Say ng Ilocano Defenders, and even itong mga independent candidates sila Enrico Ferro Campo, Irvin Stewart Kawatan, Enrico Docot Reyes, Alvin Caringal, and Jerry Garcia. And ayon sa COMELEC, ang registered voters for the City of Manila is around 1.1 million. So itong mga tumatakbo from the mayoral seat hanggang sa pagiging konsehal, ito yung kanilang mga tatrabahuin sa mga susunod na linggo.
Mayor, Marymon, sobrang layo ni Isko sa kanihani, 67 and 15. Very action ba yung camp ni Mayor Lacuna?
Kanina na Miss Ami, nung nakausap ko yung ilan sa mga nangangampanya para sa kanya, yung sa opisina mismo ni Mayor Hani, they are focusing daw muna ngayon sa campaign, and then they'll see later sa results kung ano yung magta-transpire sa boto raw ng mga Manileño. And kung babalikan nga natin, supposedly, magkatandem talaga itong si dating Mayor Isko at si Mayor Hani Lacuna, pero nagkaroon kasi ng asim or ng lamat sa kanilang relasyon simula nung nagparamdam na si Mayor Isko na tatakbo siya ulit, o lalo na ngayon at bilang alkalde ng Maynila. And siguro kaya rin nabanggit kanina ni Mayor Isko na tututukan niya raw yung kalinisan ng Maynila dahil nag-transpire yung isang issue tungkol sa waste collection around Manila, dahil naipon nga raw ang mga basura by December hanggang second week of January, dahil nagkaroon ng complication sa kontrata between sa Manila LGU and yung waste collection company. So, kaya siguro yun yung naging panama doon nila dating Mayor Isko nung mabilisan natin siyang nakapanayam.
Actually, it was on our air dito sa station natin, no, Merimon, when Mayor Hani Lacuna first said she felt betrayed kasi ang agreement
Yes.
nila was former Mayor Isko Moreno was not going to run and give way to her. But I'm curious, dun sa sinabi mo na personal platform ni former Mayor Isko, what do you mean personal platform at hindi siya official platform?
Kay Sam Versosa, Miss Regina, yung nabanggit natin kanina na personal platforms
Okay.
ni Sam
Okay,
Versosa.
okay. So hindi kay Isko 'yon, hindi kay
hindi.
former
Kay Sam
Mayor
Versosa.
Okay, sorry, I misheard you. Tell us about yung sa camp ni former Mayor Isko Moreno. Ano yung plataforma nila?
Yes, ang kanilang pinaka-mantra for this campaign is, ng Yorme's Choice is, Make Manila Great Again. So yan yung pinaka-movement nila. And medyo,
Parang narinig ko na yun,
narinig
Mary Mon,
na natin to somewhere sa ibang bansa. Pero ang pinaka-hinahabol nila dito is, ipagpapatuloy daw nila dating Mayor Isko yung mga programang ginawa niya nung siya'y nanunungkulan dati bilang alkalde ng Maynila. While on the other hand, para naman dito sa side nila, Mayor Hani, ang kanila naman ay serbisyong diretso sa tao, tapat at totoo. And they are more on continuing the good governance. They are betting on sa achievements and track record ng administration ni Mayor Hani. So, we'll see kung ano nga ba yung mga mangyayari mamaya sa kanilang proclamation rallies, kung meron ba silang gagawing panama sa isa't isa or maybe promises sa mga Manileños.
Bok, kamusta yung kampanya? I haven't been to a campaign lately. How do they campaign these days? Do they still press flesh and kiss babies? O
Puro motorcade lang.
Nagbabato lang ng t-shirt mula doon sa taas ng plataforma?
Mukhang puro motorcades, oh.
Common ngayong araw, lalo-lalo dito sa tatlong contender sa Manila, is pare-pareho silang nagsimula ng motorcades. Pero dito, for example, kay dating Mayor Isko, namimigay din sila ng mga t-shirt and mukhang mga candy rin binabato nila. Meron din pinapamigay para sa mga motorista na yung arm sleeves, para nga daw dahil maaraw, lalo-lalo na kanina bandang tanghali, masakit sa balat. And aside from that, napansin din natin na habang nagpapatuloy yung motorcades nitong mga kandidato, minsan natatagalan dahil sa dami ng tao na tumatanggap sa kanila depending on the area around Manila, kung saang distrito man. Kaya kailangan minsan humihinto yung pinakasasakyan kung saan sila nakatungtong, namimigay, nagpapapicture, o kaya naman ay simpleng bumabati sa mga Manileños.
Everyone, kumusta yung display naman ng mga posters dyan, mga local candidates? Marami pa rin ba o nabawas-bawasan na?
Actually, Miss Ami, buti na banggit niyo yan. Kasi kanina nung umalis ako from Tondo, nung pupunta naman ako ng Quiapo para kay Mayor Hani, napansin ko na may mga truck doon ng MMDA, tsaka yung ibang mga barangay officials ay kita ko, marami silang hawak na taken down na posters. So kasabay nitong kanilang first day ng campaign for local elections, naglilibot din itong mga sumisilip kung yung mga posters ba ay nasa designated areas o kaya naman kung may kailangang tanggalin na hindi naman karapat-dapat na pinaglalagyan ng campaign paraphernalia.
Alam ba ng mga kandidato na hindi sila pwede magbigay ng pagkain o inumin?
I was gonna ask, and also may napapansin ka bang bigayan ng either whichever ayuda program we're talking about, AKAP, AIX, MyFix. May napapansin ka ba, Mary Mon?
So far earlier, kasi nandun na po ako sa may harapan ng Smoky Mountain nung nag-organize pa lang or nakikita-kita pa lang yung mga supporters nito ni dating Mayor Isko. And so far, nakita ko pa lang kanina is yung pamimigay nga nung arm sleeves at saka nung actually, yun lang yung nakita ko kanina, bukod na lang doon sa mga binabato na lang na mga t-shirt. Pero for the rest of it na nakita ko so far, yun pa lang. Pero doon naman sa side ni Mayor Hani sa Quiapo, wala rin tayong nakitang pinapamigay kasi right after nung misa, kung saan yung ibang mga miyembro ng mga pangit, sila Congressman Joel Chua, nandun sila, umattend sila ng misa. Pagkatapos nun, sumakay agad sila sa kanilang mga sasakyan and umarangkada na sa pangangampanya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so people know, Omnibus Election Code Article 10, Section 89, it is unlawful for any candidate, party, organization, or any person to give or accept directly or indirectly transportation, food or drinks, or things of value during the 5 hours before and after a public meeting blah, 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 blah. So,
And
yeah, just be mindful of that.
pwede nila i-report yan to the COMELEC.
Unfortunately,
Yung
yung t-shirt,
t-shirt,
hindi kasama.
Ed.
Hindi kasama yung t-shirt.
Yung t-shirt, thing of value, wala ba? Wala dyan.
It doesn't really define the thing of value eh.
Kailangan din i-update yan.
Omnibus election, 1985 pa
Another,
to eh.
another thing to update. Okay. Let's let Marymon go.
Although may mga t-shirt na wala pang 100 sa Divisoria, ha? May
That's
marami
true.
mura doon na t-shirt.
Ano naman, hindi, mga 110 na, doon ako bibili.
Hindi, yung mga generic na makakakuha ka doon hanggang mga 75 yata.
Walang kwelyo.
Depende sa dami.
Oh.
Kung maramihan.
Baka naman in bulk. Oo nga, in bulk. Marymon, thank you for your reporting. That was Marymon Reyes reporting live from Manila. And speaking
Thank
of
you, Marymon.
Speaking
Thank
of
you,
Manila
Marymon.
politics, let's dive into that survey that we were talking about. We have with us this afternoon Okta Research President Ranjit Rai. Hi, Professor. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Professor.
Sir, naka-mute kayo.
Nakamute. Nakamute.
Sorry, yeah. Good afternoon to
There you
everyone.
go, sir.
Ayan
Good
na.
afternoon, sir.
Oh.
So we'll flash the latest survey again, which you just released this afternoon. See, this is voter preference for Manila City Mayor. Isko Moreno Domagoso is at 67% overall, and then his closest rival. Well, at first it was supposed to be Manila incumbent Mayor Hani Lacuna, but she's currently at third place at 15%. And between them, you've got Sam Versosa at 16%. Professor, talk us through the disparity and what this what this tells us.
Okay, just for context, we didn't release this. This was released by the group that commissioned
Ay,
it,
oo nga pala, sorry.
Mr. Roberto Oca. And we were just told, actually, that it was in many Facebook posts. So we informed the media that, this was commissioned and was conducted last March 2 to 6 with 1,200 respondents all over the city of Manila. Yeah, and it looks, it's a startup campaign, so we expect that these numbers will change. But it seems like a uphill climb for both the incumbent mayor, Hani Lacuna, and Mr. Sam Versosa, right? I think, yeah, Sam Versosa, who are challenging, former Mayor Isko Moreno, who, by the way, has 67% of preference, no? And it's from first to the 6th district in Manila, he has a majority of the preference. Yeah.
Sir, yung 67%, kasi it says here, number of voters, I'm talking about Isko Dumagoso, 754,199. But I understand your survey universe was only 1,800. So what did you do? You extrapolated 67% of 1.8 to get to 754?
Yeah, the survey only interviewed registered voters. And so this is the total number that we were able to cull based on the survey. And the gaps here, it's important to take note or to emphasize that these are just snapshots. They're not a guarantee that these are actually people going to vote for former Mayor Isko Moreno. It's just the start of the local campaigning. And so we expect that these numbers will change for, as the campaign intensifies. And your last report shows how robust the campaigning is in Manila. Unfortunately, we can only talk about this particular slide because this was the only thing that was released. Everything else is considered confidential and should be released by the person who commissioned it. But it shows us a sizable, going back to the earlier question, taking my hat off as a member of Okta and more as a political analyst, this is a significant survey result given the fact that, former Mayor Isko Moreno is not the incumbent. It's actually Mayor Hani Lacuna. Mm-hmm. It seems like, it's an uphill climb for her. There doesn't seem to be a consensus around her at this time. So, we're hoping that will change as she campaigns. No? and escalates her messaging. But it seems like the challengers are all doing better than the incumbent.
Pero Professor, I understand meron na rin previous surveys and actually your results are tracking those previous surveys. Talaga ang layo ni Isko at medyo mababa si Mayor Lacuna eh. I think those surveys last year pa yun eh.
Yeah,
As soon as nag-file ng candidacy, meron na eh.
Yes.
And hindi nagbabago yung resulta actually.
Yeah, it's but it's hard to say that these from my point of view as a member of a survey company, these are guaranteed. We know that these numbers will change, but it's really a very wide margin at the moment, and it seems you're right, Ami. It seems consistent with other surveys that have come out looking at the race in Manila. And if this continues, then it's almost like a rebuke of the established, the incumbent, managing Manila at the moment. We haven't seen these numbers in other cities that we've looked into. This seems like there's a big consensus around. No, it's majority actually. A big majority of Manileños have already made a choice this early for prefer the former Mayor Isko Moreno. Of course, again, as Octa Research, we're saying that this is not a guarantee. This is not a ballot, and that we want to preface by saying that these numbers will change as the campaigning at the local officially starts today.
Professor, I don't know if you heard yung report a reporter kanina, just before you. She said that former Mayor Isko was campaigning with the tagline, "Make Manila Great Again." So, of course, that's a variation of the MAGA, Make America Great Again, right? Pero I wonder if you have any insights on why this is resonating. Is there a lot of unhappiness on the ground in terms of how Manila City is being run? I mean, the incumbent Mayor Hani Lacuna hasn't been in position for long, right?
Yeah, but that's a very hard question to answer. So I'll just say I'll take my hat off as Octa and say what I'm going to say as my personal opinion as a political scientist. And obviously, when you look at these numbers, there's as I was saying, people are obviously unhappy or dissatisfied with the current mayor. When you have these kinds of wide margins and you're incumbent, then and then given all the context that we're watching the news of garbage, the deterioration in the physical surroundings, the issue of crime that has gone up in Manila. So maybe this is what people are saying through the survey, that they're dissatisfied with the incumbent, and they're actually even considering Sam Versosa, no? So and he's even a tad bit higher than, although it's insignificant within the margin of error, which is 3%.
Napakarami kasing Professor. I worked for a long time in Manila until a year ago. Sa Manila ako araw-araw eh. Napakaraming high-profile projects kasi ni Isko na talagang pag nakita mo, talagang dramatic change sa city. Born and bred ako in Manila eh. Tapos nung umupo si Hani, medyo nawala. Yan naman ang perception ng mga Manileño. Pero ang tanong ko, Professor, are there other local officials who are commissioning Octa now for surveys?
There's some, there's some not officials.
Baka naman gusto mo kami bigyan ng preview.
Mag-commission ka na, Ami.
Bayad ka, Ami.
Baka sa Davao meron. Wala nga sa
Public
Davao.
rules are so strict now. We're going to report all of them once they're released. But we can't really talk about any of them, unfortunately. But this one we can talk about because for some reason they released it. They seem so overconfident now with the numbers. Normally, you don't release this at the start of the campaign, strategic information. But we actually don't know who released it. To be fair, we were just told by the media, our friends in media. I'm friends from your industry that it's on Facebook pages everywhere, and so obligation as a survey company is to confirm, and that's what we're confirming, that this is a survey that was conducted by Octa. And these results are verified. And in these results, Mayor Isko Moreno has a wide lead over all the other challengers. As far as the survey is concerned, in the city of Manila, But this is again, we're issuing the statement that this is the start of the campaign. These numbers will still change. While it is an uphill climb for many of the challengers, the survey results are not a guarantee. They're just a snapshot, and that this should not be taken as a sample ballot, no. So let's give the other challengers a chance, no, to push their messages forward.
Pero sir, we also saw something like this in 2013. Si Erap, the former president, was ousted, ran again in 2010, lost the presidency to Pinoy, ran for Manila mayor, and won, even though he was not really from Manila to begin with. He was from San Juan, but that's another story altogether. but you know what I mean? What are the chances na, having run in the last election for a high-profile position like the presidency, all over, gave him that much publicity and
awareness,
name recall, and it was an easy push to get back to Manila.
Well, I think it's also unfair to say that it's because he's good looking, he's popular, he's an entertainer. Actually, Ami is right. Yung performance niya is and even the framing, make Manila great again, harks to a particular reason, where the Manila was much better than where it is now. So, this is unique and distinct. And, if he does well here and he's able to recreate what he started and improve on it, who knows, 2028 might be, there might be a narrative for another national bid in 2028.
Nako, we're talking about 2028 already.
Yeah, I know. But it looks certain that he might. There's a as far as Octa is concerned, it looks like this is going to be a breeze for him. But if he does well, I'm just saying, the door is open for other positions again. And 2020 is actually quite open for many of these very good local government officials. That includes Mayor Magalong, that includes Leni Robredo, who's likely, I'm told, with her survey results, where she's competing now. So these are people who are already popular, but we have executive experience, and we'll have a proof of concept that might be possible choices for 2028 at the national level.
Pero sir, we've never had...
Sige, you're as political analyst. You're saying pwedeng springboard yung local official for the presidency in 2028. Kasi pinag-uusapan niya ngayon ng mga tao Dati, Senate ba't medyo disappointing yung natin ngayon, sa Senado. Kaya nagtatanungan ngayon, baka naman pwede local official, at least yun na nga, meron ng may track record, di ba? Are you saying it's possible?
Yeah, it's very possible, ma'am. Ma'am, even if you look at all the surveys now sa Senate, it looks like it'll be more disappointing this time around.
Yes.
Multiple winners.
Naku, who are you guys talking about? Who are you guys referring to?
Well, anyway, that aside, I think there's really an open space now for progressive, performance, best performing government, local government leaders, And I'm just stating, it's for example the clear case now is Benjamin Magalong, you have people like Joy Belmonte. We don't know, they're doing very well in their cities, and of course the possibility that Mayor Isko, who might breeze through this next campaign and able to truly make Manila great again, that will present a solid argument for everyone that, if we can do this in Manila, maybe we can do this for the rest of the country. And this is also an argument that Leni Robredo can make, if she does well as a local chief executive.
Speaking of national candidates, Prof, we didn't get a chance to talk to you. I don't know if you guys did, but we didn't get a chance to talk to you about when you released the latest senatorial survey, March 17, tama po? In that survey, we saw Senator Bongo climbing the ranks, and he was now at number 2. But this was before, this was conducted
before.
before the arrest of former President Duterte kasi it was conducted Feb 22 to 28, released
Yes,
March 17. So my
Yes.
question to you is, how do you expect this to change, the picture to change post Duterte arrest? I mean, without giving too much away.
No, okay. To be completely honest, we don't have the complete. I mean, the analyzed results for our March survey. We will be releasing very soon. But to remind at Ma'am Ami, remember a conversation about political preferences last January?
Yes.
We saw a bump and people didn't believe us, no? But that bump is shown in the surveys, our most recent surveys, and maybe to some extent validated by the others. When you look at the PDP Laban slate, everybody went up. Every single member went up in the latest survey, and that survey does not capture the events of recent events, and so the sympathy might just bring some of those candidates further up, no, and push Alianza candidates down, and that's a possibility, no. That's what we feel most likely will happen. But the competition as far as the Senate is concerned has become tight. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is really a dogfight until 15. And so, we can't make actually strong predictions at the moment because the situation is quite dynamic. We need to find out if there's really a sympathy vote. And that we'll only find out in our forthcoming survey. And then we're going to run another one in April to see if that continues, that sympathy continues. But the big beneficiary is really Bato de la Rosa and Bongo, and the rest of the ticket. The biggest, of course, is Senator Bongo. Now he's in our own survey, he's ranked number 1. And apparently, in many of the other surveys, they are seeing the same thing. There's really a bump in the number of pro-Duterte candidates, in the numbers of the
Pero sir,
pro-Duterte.
let me chuck one candidate in na rin. Again, with your hat on as a political scientist, si Amy Marcos, sabi niya, namamangkas dalawang ilog. Ngayon, tumataya siya ngayon dun sa Duterte kasi umalis na siya dun sa Alianza. How do you think her numbers are going to look, more or less, after your next survey?
Okay, so the first major, what you call this, finding of the last survey, at least the one we published, is that that particular survey saw a bump in all of the PDP Laban candidates. We saw also the decline of some Alianza candidates, most notably Senator Amy Marcos. But it's premature right now, honestly, to rule her out of the top 12. There's not enough data for us to say that she can be ruled out. Her numbers are declining, yes, but they're still competitive. And we don't know how the dynamics now that she's left. She probably might get a bump because, as you all know, the Duterte vote is consolidating. In our last preference survey, which we will augment with the new one forthcoming, merong tumaas po talaga yung support sa D at saka E, no? Doon sa Duterte, pro-Duterte preference. And, her move might turn out to be strategic, she might actually get a bump in the numbers.
Yeah, we'll wait to get a hold of the latest survey. Send it to us first, Prof. But thank you so much for thank you so much for joining Storycon today.
Sabi niya,
Oo nga, on the record yan, Octa Research.
We will say it came from you.
Octa Research President Ranjit Rai.
Thank you, Professor.
You're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We've got developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
I'm Regina Lay, and still with us, I'm Ipa Mintuan of the Philippine Star. Now, let's head over to Pasig, where Mayor Vico Soto and his slate kicked off their campaign at the Pasig Mega Market. For the details, we have mobile journalist Kyla Macantan. Kyla, what do you have?
Hi, good afternoon, Reg, Ed, Ami. As early as 8 a.m., nagtipon na yung mga taga-suporta ng grupo ni Mayor Vico yung giting ng Pasig para nga ipakita yung kanilang mainit na pagtanggap dito sa grupo at punong-puno ng tao, no, dinumog kanina yung mutya ng Pasig Mega Market para nga ipakita nila yung kanilang patuloy daw na tiwala dito sa mga kandidato dahil karamihan mula sa grupo ni Mayor Vico ay sila rin yung kasalukuyang nakaupo sa pagkakonsehal. Ganun din yung siyempre ang ating incumbent Vice Mayor and Congressman Roman Romulo. Present din kanina no yung kanilang mga family and of course si Bossing Vic Soto and ang kanyang mother Fanny Reyes. Pabirong ipinakilala ni Bossing kanina si Mayor Vico no na siya raw ang susunod na presidente ng Pilipinas na hindi naman sinang-ayunan ni Mayor Vico. So dinaan lang niya sa tapat sinabi niya na yung hindi siya nag-agree. So bukod dito no talagang tinalakay na ano ba yung mga programa na kanilang nagawa sa loob ng kanilang termino at syempre yung patuloy daw na kanila pang mga gagawin. Ibinida nila yung pagdami ng kanilang scholars, 11,000. Ngayon daw ang kanilang current 5,000 na. Ganon din yung kanilang mga pabahay at syempre yung issue na lahat na raw nakatatanggap. Nagbalik tanaw rin si Mayor Vico, gano'n din kanyang mga kabartido. Simula pa lamang kung gaano daw kahirap na ipakilala no, yung kanilang mga sarili dahil hindi sikat at syempre yung tinatawag ni Mayor Vico na meron kasing parang ipinagbabawal daw noon ng mga namumuno na ipakita ng mga taga-Pasig yung kanilang pagsuporta dito nga sa partida ni Mayor Vico.
Okay.
Carla, kumusta naman yung kampanya nung kabila? Dahil alam naman natin leading si Vico dyan yung sa kabila. Kumusta yung kampanya?
Actually, dapat ngayong hapon, 3 p.m. yung start ng kanilang kickoff, no? Pero pinospone at inikot ko kanina yung Pasig kasi supposedly yung doon nga daw sa plaza gaganapin yung kanilang unang araw ng pangangampanya. Tapos na bago at hindi na daw nag-update. Maging kasi itong mga kumakandidato mula dito sa Kaya Des team ay hindi na nag-update kahit sa kanilang social media. Nagtanong din tayo sa ilang LGU kung meron ba silang alam na nag-request ulit ng permit para lumipat ng ibang lugar. Wala na. Yung ibang mga kausap sabi, hindi na daw tutuloy. Yun lang yung sinabi, hindi na daw tutuloy sa pangangampanya. Nag-reach out din tayo sa kanilang team pero sa ngayon wala pa rin sumasagot no, kung ito ba ay reschedule nila, kung may ilan kasi nagsasabi na bukas daw. Pero ayun, napansin ko no kasi minimonitor din talaga yung kanilang mga social media accounts, etong mga from Kaya D's team at wala talaga silang update. Parang mga kahapon pa or days ago pa yung last na update nila. Silangan nung huminga yung issue no regarding doon sa permit na kanilang in-request para sana ngayon.
Okay. Maraming salamat. No, go ahead, Ami.
Hindi, kasi may kumakalat na mga chismis, baka daw mag-withdraw. Totoo ba yun? May basis ba yun? Yung mga chismis na yun?
Wala pong nanggagaling pa mismo. Ate Sara Diskaya, si Mayor Vico lang, kumalat pa nga yung video na pabirong kinamayan ni Mayor Vico yung hangin. So sa ngayon, inaantay natin yung update kung ano nga ba, kung tutuloy nga ba. Dahil kasi yung kanilang mga inilalabas naman na campaign videos or sa social media talagang mukha namang desidido sila talaga sa pagtakbo ngayong eleksyon. At medyo, napansin ko lang, personally, medyo madaming pahaging. Parang ganun yung mga nagiging pangangampanya.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave that there for now. Thank you so much for your report. Mobile journalist Kyla Macantan reporting to us live from Pasig.
Thank you, Kyla.
Thank you, Carla.
Before we forget, sabi natin it's a very heavy news day. The other big news was U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is here, of course. He met with President Marcos earlier today at the Malacanang. In his public remarks, which was carried on RTVM naman, they talked about deterrence.
Against the threats.
Specifically naming
Specifically,
communist China.
Chinese.
Correct.
Communist.
Communist China.
Yun na nga, that's how he described it, communist China. So
Communist China.
that sends a very strong message to China right there. He talked about wanting to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Philippines to deter this, to prevent conflict in the region. So again, this
Term
is the
natin yan, yung shoulder to shoulder. Term natin yan, balikatan yan eh.
Oo nga eh, actually. Tapos, of
Which
course,
he actually mentioned also in Hawaii.
Oo.
Nandun siya nung March 3, he mentioned it in the Indo-Pacific Command Headquarters. Shoulder to shoulder din yung sinabi niya.
and also their other favorite phrase, so they're bringing that back in the second Trump administration. They also agreed on a number of initiatives together, including cybersecurity,
Cooperation.
bilateral cybersecurity campaign, bilateral defense industrial cooperation, special operations forces training in Batanes, and also something they called Nemesis, but without an E. So Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System. Medyo technical, no? But it's essentially cooperation with the armed forces.
At yung susunod na balikatan, magkakaroon doon ng anti-ship missile exercises.
Magastos yun, ha?
Oo.
Anyway.
What we really want to know is, are they giving the Philippines a second Typhoon missile system? Because there
I think we're working on it, no? Di ba? Kasi
Oo nga eh.
wini-welcome na ng AFP eh.
Yes, yes.
Wini-welcome na eh.
Pero that's
Oh,
gonna
we're waiting
be
for that announcement.
that's gonna be
Siguro.
very sensitive.
You don't call it giving kasi
Magagalit si China.
they don't give away those things.
Strings attached.
They just deploy them here.
Okay, it's not for us.
Deployment.
No, because remember the AFP
For
also
them to give it, we have to pay for it.
in cash or in kind.
Military currency. Di ba, part of the usual military assistance is in cash and in kind.
Oo.
So I don't think they're giving us control of those missiles. They're just deploying them here.
Deployment. Pero in any case, to be very clear, hindi pa naman confirmed that there will be a second Typhoon missile system. We're just getting
We're
rumors.
welcoming.
Oo.
Pinagunahan na natin yung pag-welcome, baka hindi matuloy eh.
Baka maudlot. Tayo.
Saka magbago ng isip.
Di ba the AFP wants to
Winelcome na
buy?
natin.
The AFP wants to buy din naman. Ay, question lang is whether they have the budget for it. So baka ito na nga yun. We will.
Because
Under
you're
the
in the
foreign
Typhoon belt.
military assistance.
Oo.
Pwede idadaan mo sa foreign military
Oh, yun,
assistance nila.
FMAs. The
FMA.
Foreign Military Assistance.
Okay, we have run out of time. Once again, thank you so much for joining Storycon today. Ami Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Happy
Weekend.
hindi
Weekend.
birthday. Join us again, Storycon, Monday, 4 p.m. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Ligaw. We are One News all sides all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.